We'll start off the program with the markets on the African continent. Only the South African market was looking up at intraday. The JSE index was up 0.29%. Investors fear South African market euphoria is overdone. Businessman Cyril Ramaphosa, the new leader of South Africa's ruling ANC party, needs to fix a sluggish economy and a deeply dividend society, and fund managers say market euphoria after his election may not reflect the looming slog. And looking out there on the slide, markets in Nigeria and Egypt were in the red, and Kenya closed low on Tuesday, down 0.25%. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia's stock market stalled today as cement shares ran into profit-taking after the release of the 2018 state budget, while Qatar's market also pulled back after relief on Tuesday. The Saudi index was flat at intraday. 6 of the 10 biggest losers were cement stocks, with Tabuk Cement sinking 1.6%. Cement shares had surged in the days before the release of the budget as investors anticipated an increase in infrastructure spending after a couple years of austerity. Meanwhile, Qatar's index fell back 0.03% after surging 3.8% on Tuesday to its highest level since late September as retail investors flocked back into the market. Dubai's index was up 0.32% and Abu Dhabi was down 0.19%. In Europe, markets were mixed in early trade as the long-awaited U.S. tax overhaul wound its way through Congress. There are other developments in the European space, and Daniel Cook joins me now to tell us more. Good afternoon, Daniel. A beautiful day to you.
Yeah, beautiful day to you as well. I hope you, your team, everybody who's watching us is doing very well today.
Yeah, we're all doing great. Now, the EU today passed a new rule that will regulate Uber as a taxi company. Now, this comes as UK Transport Authority tears up Uber's operating permit. Track all this for us and what lies ahead for this innovative travel company.
Yeah, very bad news for fans of Uber today. I have to admit I'm one of those fans that is actually a little bit disappointed today, because the European Union has been saying something that Uber doesn't like at all. Pretty much the European Union is saying that the service that Uber is offering is a taxi service, and whenever it is a taxi service, it needs to be regulated within the European Union and within the country. So Uber has a completely different opinion. They were always saying, well, we are an app, we are offering those rides for people, and our drivers, they are not really employed by us. They are just doing this to, to get some extra money into their pockets. So what is going to be the case in Europe, that this Uber Pop service that we are, for example, seeing in the United States, where you can, just order a cab and the cab then comes, and in the cab, pretty much the Uber cab is a driver who, might have a total different job, but at the end he's doing this in his free time. We're not going to see this. All Uber drivers that are going to be driving here in some of the European cities, for example in Spain, those need to have a regular taxi license. And of course with this, the service would always get more expensive than we are seeing this right now with Uber. Many people, I can already tell you, are calling this is not a good decision, that there should be a sort of a competition to regular taxis here also in Europe. Because just to give you one example, for example, I'm here in downtown Frankfurt right now. A regular taxi here from downtown Frankfurt to the airport, which is just about 20 or 25 minutes away, can cost you easily here in Frankfurt an amount of 50 to 60 euros. Many people are of course saying this is too high, that taxi drivers here in Germany and in Europe have kind of a monopole function, and that's why many are actually saying that Uber would be a good idea to have kind of a healthy competition. But with this ruling today of the European Union, we are not going to see a chance, at least not happening very soon, Jimmy.
It's really not a good time for Uber, but I guess the company will have to find a way to go around it. Well, let's look at what's driving your market there. U.S. President Trump has been tweeting happily about his first major legislative victory of tax bill. What's in the news in Europe about this development, and does it mean anything for the global marketplace? Is that part of what is driving the DAX at this time?
Well, the DAX cannot really decide what to do at the moment. We saw that it was actually really falling. Now it's recovering a little bit. Pretty much investors are saying that today we are not even see that much of the tax reform in the DAX. We already saw this during the last days. Remember, we had this really boost at the beginning of this week after it was announced that most likely this tax reform is really going to get through. Some people are having very different opinions here about the tax reform of Donald Trump, because on the one hand, many are saying that they think a boost of the economy of the United States with this tax reform, with this really record low of corporate tax of just a level of about 25%. Just to give you an example, Germany has a corporate tax of at least 30 to 35%. So many are saying that this boost of this possible boost, let's call it like this, of the United States can also help here the EU and Germany. Many are also having a different way of thinking. They're thinking that this tax reform at the end could even harm jobs here in Germany, because what could happen if companies in the future are saying, well, I mean, in the United States they have this extremely low corporate tax. Why we don't move our offices here from the European Union, from Germany, also over to the United States in order to benefit all from this tax reform as well. So yeah, a little controversial topic here, Jimmy, but at least today the blue chip index DAX is not anymore focusing that much on the tax reform of Donald Trump.
All right, let's look at another company news coming in today. The CEO of German energy company Innogy is leaving with immediate effect. Now, is this part of RWE's plans to cut its $19 billion tie with Innogy and spin it off to Italy's giant Enel?
Well, a trader was comparing this a little bit earlier actually with a soccer team, because I'm sure this is also the case in Nigeria. Whenever a soccer team is failing for a long time, then we sometimes get this news that, well, at the end they decided to exchange the coach, that there is a new coach in office. It seems to be a little bit the case that this is also happening with Peter Therium. He used to be the CEO of Innogy, because just a few days ago Innogy was announcing that they don't think they will be able to meet their goals of winning that they were expecting for 2017. Innogy has pretty much a hard time right now in the market. Mostly their market in the United Kingdom is suffering. After this news was announced, shares of Innogy were dramatically breaking down here, also at the stock market. And after that, it was announced that Innogy would exchange the CEO, though it was not really officially announced by the company. But that's what we're hearing from insiders. Also earlier I was reading a statement from the board of Innogy. They were saying that pretty much they had a different view about really how to operate, how to work, how to make the company in the future again to be more successful. Now there's going to be a transition time. Right now, Uwe Tigers, he's the head of human resources. He will be in the seat of command, at least for the moment, and then it's going to be later announced who's going to be the next CEO. Let me talk to you a little bit through about the shares of Innogy today after the news was breaking that there would be a new CEO. Actually, the shares of Innogy were a little bit recovering. Now they are again a little bit down. So that's your latest business update here from Frankfurt. My last one for 2017. We're going to see each other again in 2018. So all the best, and until then.
Thank you very much, Daniel. You mean I have to wait till 2018 to see you again? Anyway, Merry Christmas and, of course, Happy New Year. Enjoy the holiday.